is usually placed in the header section. So link tag has a keyword called as href. So this is used to give the path to the CSS files. Okay, and then it also has a relation attribute which will tell that this is a style sheet for the page or an alternate style sheet for the page. So usually we name this as a style sheet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a simple CSS page over here. CS style.css, and we will be adding the style.css page to the href part. So style.css, right? So now we have successfully linked the style page to our index.html page. Then we have the navigation tag. So navigation, the nav tag is used in conjunction with division tags and hyperlink tags. So usually this is used to design navigation bars for the web pages. href is equal to hash. In case you guys not want to point out the hyperlink tag to anything, you can just utilize hash. So home ahref is equal to hashtag about us. So this will basically show a navigation like syntax. You run this, we have the navigation like syntax that comes about. We have home and we have about us. Okay, that is a navigation tag. So now we have the script tag. So script tag, much like the example we saw with Canvas, is used to include JavaScript. So there are two ways that we can include JavaScript in this. So one is telling that this is a script, and inside by placing all the JavaScript sentence, or alternatively by utilizing this to link to the JavaScript file. Okay, so let me make a file script.js. So, and I will be linking the script.js file to this script tag. So script src is equal to script.js. Okay, so thereby we are linking the script file. After the linking tags, we have the list tags. So HTML gives us two different types of lists. So one is called as an ordered list. The other one is called as an unordered list. So ordered list is usually has numbers or Roman numericals or alphabets based on the order we are calling them. Unordered list in turn has bullets, square bullets, and arrowheads, right? So in order to add elements to the unordered list and ordered list, we will be utilizing the help of another element called as list item. Let's see how these three work in conjunction. So first, let me create an ordered list. OL denotes order list. So inside then, we will be adding list item. Let's add rice, list item paddy, and list item sugar. And when we execute this on the browser, we will be having them coming up with numbers. In the same way, when we execute, let's execute the same thing in an unordered list. We will be having list item rice, list item paddy, and list item sugar. And when you execute this, this will be popping up in bullets. So this is the primary difference between an ordered list and unordered list. we have the style and the semantic tags that is specific to HTML5. So what are the semantic tags? Semantic tags are those ones which add more meanings to a regular tag. So in HTML5, we have additions like section, header, footer, and main. So these denote the different sections of HTML. We will also have aside tags and more on. So starting with tag, let's see how the style tag works. So style tag is usually used to add the CSS inside the HTML file itself. Okay. So style, and then we will be adding the type of element or the sort of styles that we need. Okay. So let's say I'm adding a color, background color black, and for the element body. So once we execute this, the entire screen is going to turn black. Okay. So this is what the style tag does. It basically adds the internal style for the body tag or whichever tag we are calling it for. Okay. Or whichever page we are calling it for. Okay. So after style tag, the very next thing that we have is the div tag. So div tag, in other words, is called as division tag. So before using HTML5 semantics elements, so what we were doing was we were using with different IDs for different levels. Okay. So first we were having div ID is equal to header and ID is equal to main section and ID is equal to footer. So when we were using div tags, we were able to do the work as same as we are doing with the present semantic elements. But the major drawback of this was depending from developer to developer, the keywords they use and type of programming they use matters most to this, and due to which sometimes there will be clashes with the ID. In order to mitigate this, HTML5 introduced semantic elements. So semantic elements also serves the same purpose of elements with fancy names. Okay. So division tag is more or less used to bifurcate the elements in the page. This is header. This is the main content, and this is the footer. When we execute this, this will be seen as three different things. Right? So header, main, and the footer. So when we open the debugger console by pressing F12, if you see, these three elements are three different divisions. Okay. So this is your div tag. So now moving on to section tag. So similar to how we are using div here for ID, main, and footer, we will be utilizing the section tags. So section tags is used to bifurcate the pages in terms of sections rather than divisions. So divisions can be used inside the section tags as well. Okay, so division can be a part of section tag to bifurcate the contents inside the sections or contents inside the entire web page as well. So section is in turn used to bifurcate the sections of the web page as a whole. So that is the page as a whole. So that is the use of section tag. You can add multiple divs inside a section tag, right? So the section tag come out like this. So after section tag, we have something called as header, footer, and main. So let's see how they work in conjunction. Semantically, the header will come first. So this mitigates the issue of having different names for a division or section tag. So basically, add for ease of use to the language. This is the header section and main content goes here, and finally footer. This is where the footer belongs. Okay, so now we have this executed. So unless and until you have used some sort of framework or style sheet to stylize the page, you will not be getting the alignments properly. Okay, so for now, this is how the output will be looking like for the semantical HTML. Okay, so semantically, the page will look somewhat like this with conjunction with the header tag and the navigation tag. So when we are creating the header and the navigation bar together, we will have header and the navigation bar inside and the navigation items. Ahref is equal to home. So since this is, we have an ID home and we have Ahref is equal to hashtag about us and then the title of that, about us. Okay, so header we have it over here. So then let me make the section over here and add the main content. So this part of the main content would denote the home part for us. ID is equal to home and after main we can add another division and called as ID is equal to about us. We are like mantra, right? So that is a little bit semantic way of writing the elements. Okay, so after this basic semantic tags like header, footer, and main, we have another semantic tag called as span. So span is pretty much used to add any additional elements or any other elements in line along with the previously wrapped element. And also utilizing span makes it easy for us to work with the styling for it. So span is usually used to add CSS based icons or CSS based styles for a previously existent value. So spans are usually used in displaying, hiding and showing the error messages in some cases, or they're also used for certain animations at times. So that is the work of span. Then we have the info and the meta tags. So when we look at the info tag, the first tag that we are able to see here is the head tag. So why is head tag a meta tag? Because head usually contains all the information that is needed for a website to run. So apart from this, we have the meta tag. Okay, so what this meta tag basically tells us The meta tag will tell the browser so what are the metadata that the browser is supposed to use and work with. Some of the commonly used meta tags are character set. So usually meta tag has the attributes like character set, name, content to tell what type of metadata that we are passing to the browser. So we have UTF-8 to tell the character encoding that we will be using in the page. Then we will be having the description meta tag. So meta description is equal to meta name is equal to description, and followed by that the content for description would be this is a test page. So where will this data be shown? So one, the browser understands it. Two, if you guys are utilizing Google search engine optimization or any other search engine optimization for that matter, so the description of the page will be taken down by the browser and it will be displayed on the search query when user is searching for a particular web page. Then we have meta name is equal to keywords. So similar to the description, this is also utilized by the search engine. So this basically tells on what keyword the search engine is supposed to display this particular message. So when the keyword web development is met, this particular page will be displayed, right? And most importantly, we have a meta tag called as viewport. So what viewport is? Viewport is basically the entire screen of the page. So starting from this particular part. So the entire width of the screen is called as a viewport. So if you guys want to know more, so look at the dimensions of the page. Okay, so this is for the mobile view and this would be a tablet laptop view. So if you look at this, we will be seeing the variation of the sizes on the top right corner. So observe the changing dimensions. So this entire dimension or this entire white space is called as the viewport. So when we are working with responsive pages, we will utilize the meta tag which the browser will read and convert for the viewport adjustment. So what we will tell is viewport content is equal to width is equal to device minus the width, comma, initial so device width and initial scale is equal to 1.0. Okay, so in case you guys need a scale, right? So previously, when I was utilizing this, the web page was acting like this. Like when I reduce the size of the page, it's going to shrink. And when I have